And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. I wasn't looking at the clock there. Got a little behind. Hope you're doing well. Don't forget one thing that is important today, and that's a jacket to start off your day. It's 45 right now. It will get to 78, warming up, but right now it is some kind of chilly outside. So make sure to put that as a priority before you head out. Let's glance at radar this morning as you're waking up. As we head over to Meridian Honda Radar, you'll see it's all clear here. Houma, Louisiana. Look at the fog that is down here. That is major. Also, we've got wind advisory stretching from Alabama there, from Birmingham all the way across Macon, Georgia, taking in Atlanta, as we go all the way up to the Carolinas there. A lot of wind today. Speaking of that, we're going to have that also here in our area. We should have gusts of somewhere around 25 to 30, which brings the next thing to mind. When you bring up wind and weather, don't burn. We'll show you what the National Weather Service tells us on that here in just a moment, so make sure you don't do that. Penelope, how are you doing this morning? So glad to see you up and at 'em. Pat and Jim Coker joined us. Reggie, also Denny, how are you doing there? DeCory, everything going well in Louisville, I see. Mr. Richard Nelson joins us, and also Roy and a few others there. Hope you're a part of the program today. Again, we'll be coming in at 7 with the morning show. Odie getting ready to come in. He'll stumble in a few moments as we get ready for another great day. A lot to talk about what's going on over the last 24 hours as usual. Well, let's go to Collinsville this morning and get our little taste of what the good book has to tell us. Let's check in with Collinsville First Baptist.
I'm sure most of you have heard the story of the Apostle Peter's denial of Jesus at the end of Matthew 26. As it happened, Peter was trying to express devotion to Jesus after they had eaten the Passover meal. And Jesus prophesied that Peter would not be devoted that day, but in fact would deny that he even knew Jesus 3 times before dawn. Now think about that. One of the most devoted followers of Jesus denying him. Peter said he loved Jesus with his mouth, but that day his life didn't follow suit. When we consider that, we often think that we would never deny Jesus, no matter what the cost. But for most people who claim to follow him, they do exactly that. Not outright with their mouth, but rather by the way they live. They say they follow Jesus with their words and often with their church attendance, while simultaneously engaging in all kinds of sinfulness that totally dishonors God. And what they often fail to realize is that Jesus sees and knows it all. He hears them say they love God, and he sees their car in the church parking lot on Sunday, but he also hears their foul language at their kids at a Little League game, or out getting drunk with their friends, or maybe looking at that girl that they shouldn't be with. So consider what Jesus said about this earlier in Matthew's Gospel. He said, "Not everyone who says to me, 'Lord, Lord,' will enter the kingdom of heaven, but the one who does the will of my Father will enter." In other words, it's not the ones who say they love Jesus who belong to the kingdom of God, but those who obey him that belong. So how about your life? Is your love for Jesus purely vocal, or does the way you live your life demonstrate your love for him? Don't live in denial. Be a Christ follower in word and in deed. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Always a good word. Great way to start our day as we get it going there. Good to see LaWanda. Sheila is up. Also, Ginger. How are you? And Nina joining us in for the show. Now, I've got 2 different reports as we start looking around the United States of what went on over the last 24 hours. The first report I got, there were 72. The second report says there were 90. They both agree that 6 people lost their lives yesterday. I'm not sure that you've read this story. Illinois is where it happened, where a dust storm came up. Now, I've only been involved in one of these in my life, and believe it or not, I can truly understand how this could happen. I was in West Texas, as far west as you can get before falling off into New Mexico. Right in front of the hood, I was on the back seat of the car, or the truck that we were in, and just about 3 foot in front of the truck had a guy trying to close a gate. Couldn't see him. If you've ever been involved in a dust storm that pops up, and you've heard about these through history where it destroys crops, literally could not see the man. This is how this happened yesterday. 90 cars, can you imagine, happened on the interstate, and as we get deeper into this, they were aged anywhere from 2 to 80 years old that were injured or either lost their lives. We pass along condolences to everyone involved in that. They had no idea what they were running into when this happened. Horrible situation there. some folks should think twice before they make a move. Odie, I don't know if y'all remember this. This was some 10, 12, no, wait a minute, it was longer than that, 2007, when Hollywood got mad at one another. You remember that, Odie? Yeah. And they quit writing. The writers walked out, and Jay Leno was forced to have to write his own, what do they call it, monologue? Yep. Yeah, we write our own every day. Yeah. Well, times have changed. They're going on strike again, and, well, it's going to shut down Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, and some guy named Seth Meyers that I've never heard of. Apparently, he does nighttime talk show host also. They're walking off the set, so they'll have to have writers to do this. But what they've misjudged is there's so many things like I do that are here on YouTube, Facebook, and different places to where you can get entertainment. They are not the only game in town now. This is totally different. Don't stop something, people will go somewhere else. Just a word of wise to Hollywood, they've never listened to anyone. Thought we'd pass that along. As we look at this, sorrow as we lose a U.S. Marine. How did it happen? He was doing his best to help evacuate those in Ukraine. Doing good for others and lost his life. We pass along condolences to that family also. Now, we've all heard this, what's going on nationwide when it comes to the Bud Light fiasco that happened with executives, not on a local level, but on the national scene of what happened, to where I think it originally said it was a 6% sales drop. Now, as things get bigger and broader, as they dig into this, sales at grocery stores down 26% nationwide. America has spoken. They don't particularly like companies getting involved in, well, local issues and telling them what they do and don't like. Also, if y'all all remember, now I think Odie and I talked about this later yesterday, there was a bar, maybe it was Ohio, that told customers if they came in and talked about this subject, they would have to pay their bill and immediately leave. Customers took them to heart. They just quit going. That same bar is now begging people just to come back. You can talk about anything you like while in the bar. They're not so cocky anymore. That's why people go to bars, isn't it? Just to sit and talk.
To get it off your chest?
Yeah, get it off your chest. Bartender is kind of like the cheapest psychiatrist you could have.
Exactly. You got to have people skills.
Yeah, you got to have people skills. That's what it's all about there. Again, has nothing to do with our local folks that have a company here. This was done on a national level. And as we look at Daily Mail, that's what they're showing there, down 26%, while the others are climbing. As we also look at this, a mysterious, we better call the Biden administration. It could be another kid's science project. They're following another weather balloon. It hadn't been shot down just yet, but we'll see what the U.S. does. I mean, we can't just have these weather experiments for kids floating around, can we? No, sirree. We got satellites. Looked like we could have hit a button and figured out what it was.
Yeah.
Boy.
They're trash.
This is just sorrow, and I wish I had words and understood, and I also sometimes go, God, why can't you step in? I think we've all had those feelings to where you read a story and you go, why didn't God just step in and put his hand and stop this before it could go wrong? I guess everything is for a reason. We will never understand that until that day comes. But as we look at this, the bodies of two missing teens were found, 14 and 16, along with their entire family. A total of 7 are dead, and it looks as though the father may have done that. Took them all out and then committed suicide. You know, it's one thing for someone to take their own life that doesn't want to be here, but taking others with them, that's a line that shouldn't be crossed. It's an illness, I know. I don't have the answers. And as I said, I often do, and especially when it comes to a child in any shape, form, or way getting hurt. You wish the Almighty would reach in with his wrath and take care of them before they could hurt someone like that, don't you? I do. Maybe one day I'll get the answer to that. We wake up this morning. We'll talk more about this on the way because he was such an icon. I remember not watching long ago The Blacklist. Anybody remember that show? That's a pretty good show. And after he did what he did, he sits down in a chair and Gordon Lightfoot comes on in the background. Sundown, you better take care. Gordon Lightfoot has passed away at the age of 84. And we'll talk about those songs that you go, did Gordon Lightfoot really do that? I'd forgotten. We'll bring that up this morning. That all begins. A horse wouldn't. Did he write that or sing that? I've been through the desert.
He did sing it, yeah.
I've been through the desert with a. He done that? You sure?
Well, I ain't 100%.
I thought that was a group.
And it might be, my music.
Odie dig it. Call your wife.
She knows.
He's going to be sideways, but we'll look at Odie over there. There he is. We'll get that camera straightened up. Let's see what else is shaking this morning as we look around here. We don't need to bring that up. We've got a lot of headlines on the way. We're going to do your forecast next as we get ready for another wonderful day. We'll get that forecast checked. As I stumble around, we'll check that next here in just a moment.
Hello, my name's Kenneth Graham, and I'm running for coroner of Lauderdale County. For over 50 years, Lauderdale County's been represented by professional and competent coroners. I would like to continue that tradition. Over the next several months, I want to educate the public on what the coroner does and dispel any myths about the coroner job. I can show you that I will be the most professional coroner there is. So please vote for me August the 8th.
Paid for by the Committee for the Election of Kenneth Graham. The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built-in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group. Odie, I hate to tell you this, but reports are coming in that you are wrong. That was America who sang, and of course a horse
Stand corrected.
He says he stands corrected over here. I've often heard that song, and I really and truly don't get it. I rode through the desert with a horse with no name. What are they talking about? I mean, I truly don't get it. I am one of those, and my wife says I'm hard to watch movies with, that it has to have meaning for me, especially a song. I have to understand it. It's got to paint a picture for me. I rode through the desert with a horse with no name. What else did he do in the song? He's thinking over there.
Yeah, now I got to think about it.
Yeah, it's one of those moments. I don't know. It's not my thing. I don't get it. I got to look up the words to that also. As we get this going, let's check in on that forecast now.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Look at there. I couldn't find the button. I lost my train of thought there. As we look at this morning, we see that today, back in 1991, back 2002, it was 91. I got my wires crossed. Hot day. Back in 09, that's that first year that VDB penny, the Lincoln head, worth a lot of money if you happen to have the right one. 39 degrees on that date. As we look at the sunshine that is scheduled for today, 79 is what we will see. Cooler in Philadelphia and Columbus Air Force Base, 74-ish up around Stark, Vegas. As we go south, again, Natchez, Mississippi, warm, and Hattiesburg rolls in at 82. We look to our east, Demopolis, Alabama, 77, to Tuscaloosa, 75. And again, cooler as you get near Birmingham, Gadsden, 71, and warmer to the south. Now, as we look at this, today there is going to be gusts of about 25 miles an hour. So that means we can't burn because it will jump out. And we'll talk about whatever went on in Marion yesterday with their little grass fire. Have mercy. Also, let's take a look here. This is what we've got going on as temperatures start to warm up. Now, still cool in the mornings. We're sitting at 45 right now. You'd never know that it's going to almost double our temperature. Well, not quite double, but it'll be 80 before the day is out. Warmer weather on the way, cooler out in California. As we look today, 77 is what my radar system says as we lean toward the National Weather Service at 79. As the week progresses, 76, sunny until Friday. Then we've got chances, and they're not huge, but chances throughout the weekend of rain, even into Monday. We'll watch these, and should it be a threat, we'll let you know how it is with everything that's going on with the different temperatures and rain chances during these outdoor events. Woo, Geraldine says 42 in Why Not, Mississippi this morning. That's kind of chilly. As we look all the way through May the 16th, that would be the halfway point. 85, 87. Look at that. Starting to feel like, well, summertime by the 12th of the month. June is not that far off, y'all. No, it's not. As we look at our best fishing times for today, it looks like 10 o'clock is the ultimate time to be out fishing today, 12 to lunchtime. Hope you can make it out for that. That second round will be way after dark, about bedtime. There's a few folks that hang out late. Isn't that right? Get your sweaters as you head out. I agree with that, Teresa. I brought my I know it's ugly and it's got stains and I've rolled around in dirt in it, but boy, I sure like that thing. I got one of those, what do you call those, like a flannel overcoat thing? It's something else. And you can't wash the stains out of it. You just wear it once, you get a stain on it. And I got another one I keep handy got a rip in it. But I like them both, and I'm not going to let my wife throw it away because I like it. She just won't let me go out in public with it. You've seen everybody on the Walmart aisle with what their wife wasn't looking when they slipped out. It happens.
Yeah.
You can't wear that. Oh, yes, I am. We've got so much coming up. Odie's ready to go this morning. He's Googling himself. They said check in on Dr. Google there, Odie. We'll be right back. It all kicks off in roughly about 12 minutes from now. Won't you join us? We sure would like for you to. Right here at Facebook. Join us at YouTube. Now, again, don't forget you can subscribe, like it, follow it, all that good stuff. Be a part of what happens every day and know firsthand what's going on in our area and around the nation before, well, most folks do. We'll see you in just a few moments.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.